Hello and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name is Chuck Woodin, joined by my co-host, Donna Dunyan.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah. Today we have a special program. I'm actually outnumbered by the Veteran Strong Community Center. Donna, as you know, is the executive director. Actually, we got to start doing more announcements, even 5-minute announcements.
But our shows are so good and they're so jam-packed. Yeah. We don't have time, but it's okay.
Or we have to do one just specifically with you guys on another topic, obviously. Today's topic is something we've never covered before.
Nope. Brand new.
Why don't you introduce our guest?
So our guest today is Amy Wernicki. She is the Finance and Fundraising Director of Veteran Strong Community Center. Prior to her appointment as our director in 2023, she served as our Board of Directors President for 3 years. Amy is also the Secretary for the Korean Veteran Association of Bristol, and she's a certified Six Sigma Black Belt.
What?
You know, not
that bad.
It's a leadership, what is it?
So process improvement and leadership development.
Yep. Okay. I was starting to get nervous.
Yeah, you should be. But Amy is here today to talk about a new program that we are starting with Veteran Strong Community Center.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. We are going to talk about the Know Your Risks gambling campaign. And some people may have seen this on billboards, in casinos across the state of Connecticut. It's a program established by the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, and it's really about responsible gambling. As we grew up younger, we went the Say No to Drugs campaign was really, really big. Gambling takes a little bit of a different form because it is legal. And we really are about gambling responsibly versus don't gamble at all. And Veteran Strong Community Center is really excited because we were just awarded a grant for specifically for veterans and how gambling addiction is growing and becoming so prevalent within the veteran community. Mm-hmm. So we're excited to be jumping into this work. The statistics are scary, in all honesty, because gambling is a hidden addiction. It's something that is not well talked about. People who have gambling problems or gambling disorder are very good at secrecy. Yeah. They
hide it well.
Yes, they hide it well. They don't tend to seek support like you will sometimes see with AA or different drug addictions.
Not addictions, but even PTSD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And one of the biggest things that we're finding in our research is the coexistence of multiple addiction disorders together, compounded with any mental health items coming in. So you are almost 8 times more likely to develop an addiction to gambling, drugs, alcohol, if you also have mental health complications. Yeah. And a lot of them go hand in hand. And if we step back and we think about it, when I first heard it, I was like, wow. But when I stepped back and I started to actually hear the details of it, it makes so much sense when you think about it. What do you get for free when you're sitting in a casino?
Yeah.
You get free drinks.
You get free drinks.
So you may not have had a problem with alcohol prior to your gambling addiction, but now that you're in there and you're in this environment and you're just trying to hold on for the next big win, little do you realize you're now drinking so much that you're developing a drinking disorder. So it's a very complex issue that hasn't been spoken about a lot, but we're bringing awareness to it because one of the big things we're finding is veterans are a niche population within this group, and their numbers are growing, unfortunately, at an alarming rate.
It's like you said, it's something we don't hear that much
No.
about at all.
No.
I could imagine with the gambling issues, and you tack on, like you said, mental health or even other addictions, substance abuse, that just solidifies that addiction, and even more so.
And we don't think about it because how often, and we've seen it through the centers, and I'm not throwing shade on anybody because I like to go to the casinos with the rest of them. But how many times have we heard the story of our seniors? They're limited income, but they scrape together the money to go play high stakes bingo at the casino. So it's a very slippery slope to get on, and a hard one to get off because you're talking about money.
Yeah. And it's tied into, for some people, gambling is their hope for a better future. And it's really, truly the only thing they're holding on to is, if I just hit it big, I can pay off my car. I could buy a house.
You don't have to go to the casinos, Lotto.
No.
Yeah. Well, and 48 states have some form of legalized gambling. So it's everywhere. You can go, it's so widespread. And now with the use of online betting, so Connecticut now accepts, not everyone necessarily realizes this, but Connecticut now accepts online betting. So you can do DraftKings, FanDuel. They've got a bunch of online betting websites. You can stay at home. So now gambling's even easier to access because you don't have to leave your house.
Even the game, it dawned on me, the games I play on my cell phone, you can do online purchases, and there's a slot machine, or there's, there's games where you're trying to win money, but you have to put money in to win the money. So it's gambling.
And one of the things that they're seeing is that it's also hard because, in full transparency, most nonprofits actually bring in money through fundraisers from gambling. That was one of the hardest things for us to step back and realize, like, we're part of the problem. But there are only so many ways for nonprofits to make money. Nonprofits hold bingo nights.
Exactly.
We hold Super Bowl Square.
Churches.
Yeah, we hold Super Bowl Square, like where you pay money for a Super Bowl Square, because it's quick, it's easy, and it doesn't take a lot of manpower.
And you're going to fill it up.
Yes. Raffle baskets. How many times do you go to an event and it has a raffle basket you can buy, or a 50-50 to participate in? And those are all forms of gambling. So really what we're trying to do is make sure veterans are aware that their risks are higher for a variety of reasons, but also be able to educate people on, you need to make sure you're gambling responsibly. You are more than welcome. It's legal. You have the choice to do it, but make sure you're staying within your means. I had a gentleman share with us the other day that he stayed away and was able to stay out of having a gambling addiction because he would only go to the casino with $20. Never brought a credit card, just brought his $20. That's what he could afford. He went once a week. He lived close. Well, now he can access money on his cell phone. So the old school ways of, hey, I'll just leave my credit card at home, I'm only going to take the cash I can use. Unfortunately, now that technology puts everything at our fingertips, it's just so much more accessible, and that's where it starts to
something
bring you in.
Not related to gambling, but how many times do we pick up our phone now and order things from Amazon?
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's done.
Yep.
And
it's that instant gratification.
And there was a time where you
What
just
has my
wouldn't
husband told
buy
you?
these things. Huh?
What has my husband told you?
about your ordering.
I know.
Christmas.
I know. I'm guilty of it.
Oh,
I'll
my
sit
gosh.
there and, you think about something that you want. Next thing you know, you look at your bank accounts. How many times did you order from Amazon last? So it's the same principle with gambling.
Absolutely. That ease of access.
And actually, the gambling part, you're just throwing the money away.
Yes.
No, but I needed that thing from Amazon.
Well, like I said, Amazon. I'm trying to justify
No, I know.
our addiction.
But it is
Amazon is my addiction. I am very open
I
to
think
admitting that.
it's all just a slippery slope.
It's
and
like
I
a
think,
bartering system. You're
Yeah,
getting something
it
in return.
is.
yeah. But I think knowing that you have a problem, wasn't that a phrase? Was one of the campaigns when we were younger? The first step is knowing that you have a problem,
Admitting that there's an
admitting
issue,
that
yep.
there's an issue, admitting that maybe I shouldn't be spending that $50 because I really need it for food or rent or the electric bill or something, heat for the winter.
And it's hard to identify when your loved one has a gambling addiction. Some of our other addictions you physically could see.
Yeah.
You see the person physically change, and it's easy to hide gambling.
Yeah.
We're seeing with veterans, only 8% of veterans self-identify as having a gambling problem and seek help. A lot of them will say, well, not me. Yeah, that guy over there is so much worse than me. Not me. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But they also, 11% of them are like, oh yeah, I have financial problems. So they're willing to admit they have a financial problem that potentially is related to that underlying gambling issue. But they're not willing to identify that they have a gambling issue. And that is key. Being able to realize that, wait a minute, maybe this has gotten out of hand. And
there's so many different examples you can use with that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, from any addiction.
Yeah.
Any addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have a problem. The old denial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think what's scariest among our veteran population is that veterans are 9% higher risk to do illegal gambling. So that's not using your DraftKings. That's not playing the slots. What we mean by illegal gambling is they're betting with a bookie. They're throwing, they're literally those back alley dog fights, and they're betting on them. And some of that, I'm trying to dig into the rationale behind it because I'm a big why person. Yeah. I want to know why. And what I'm hearing anecdotally is some of it comes from their deployments. And depending on where you are deployed, some of these practices aren't illegal. So what happens is they become accustomed to, well, it wasn't a big deal when I was in this country or that country. And then you come home and you still want to do it.
It gives you a different rush than going and pushing the button on the slot machine.
And it also gives you a different rush than being out in the field and constantly on guard. It's a different form of, I don't want to say entertainment because it's not entertainment, but it really fills that adrenaline rush for a lot of people. And that's scary because, we all watch the movies. Things go bad when you bet with bookies. Maybe I watch a little too many movies, but it's bad.
You got to pay them back.
And
with interest, high interest.
Yeah. And people don't realize the numbers aren't in your favor, right? Because you always hear about someone winning a scratch-off ticket in town or someone won the Powerball. It was staggering to me. You are more likely to be attacked by a great white shark than to win Powerball.
In the woods.
That's the serial killer. So your statistical probability of being attacked by a serial killer is actually the same as being attacked by a great white shark. So you still have a better chance of those two things happening to you, probably simultaneously, than winning Powerball.
I'm guilty. I'm every night I'm buying lotto tickets.
Yeah.
Every night. But I'm also just, $5 or just, I think I'm doing it, responsibly. That could be the denial part. But you're right, especially Powerball, Mega.
Yeah.
When they get high, it's a chance to be life-changing.
There's like 48 states are involved with that.
When we used to sit at the senior center, I don't know if I should maybe put this out there, but they would do lottery pools every week. When the Mega Millions and Powerball, two of the bigger ones, got to a certain level, that was it. There was lotto
Pools,
pools.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Going on
they're
in-
selling to 200 people at a
Yeah.
clip.
Mm-hmm.
So
We
it-
never won. I don't know,
I've talked
but-
I've talked to some convenience store cashiers, and and they've told me that, I mean, here I come in and I'm mad at myself for throwing $5 or $10.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that come in there daily, $100
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's
plus.
yeah.
Plus.
I didn't realize. So tonight I happened to walk in to buy gas on my way here, and I normally don't ever go in to pay for gas. I don't know what made me do it tonight, but there was a $50 scratch off ticket.
What?
50.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And
Yeah.
I just was like, wow. I don't know. I guess I'm super cheap. My husband would be really proud right now when he sees this to say that I was like, absolutely not. $50.
$50.
And you scratch it off and you're done in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, so it was really.
If you want to throw it away, you can just give it to me.
Well, and now they have it with the scratch off. I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you don't win, if it's not a winner, even $1, you have a second chance. You have to mail it in to the lottery, Connecticut
Over
Lottery,
at Rocky Hill.
and they will pull random for prizes that are collected after a certain period of time.
Huh.
They pull just random winners.
So now I'm super intrigued. I want to know what percentage goes unclaimed, and I want to know those that get second chance, how many of those go unclaimed? Because that's the other thing I'm always curious about. It's
The state's not going to tell you.
no, probably not.
They're not gonna say
It's
anything.
just like you said, we need to get the word out there. We need to start talking about it, because the more that we make it a community conversation, that it's okay and it's something that is absolutely treatable. And with the right support system, you can definitely make a difference. We were just talking today about this grant with a group of our veterans, and they were sharing some stories of one of our veterans shared a story how he picked up a hitchhiker when he was driving cross country for a job, picked up a hitchhiker who literally had a cardboard suitcase and admitted he was walking home because he had gambled away the house, the car, everything his family had, and he didn't know how to get home to tell his wife and 3 kids. And those are the extremes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those don't happen every day.
I mean, you see that kind of stuff on
the movies.
comedy shows,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But to actually do it, that's
And I would put money, no pun intended, I would put money that he probably never stopped to realize he had a problem.
to sit there and gamble away the house that your family
can't even
lives,
imagine.
the roof that your family lives under.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there as you're talking, and a lot of the times, I mean, me being Navy, and I know guys in Marines, other branches, Army, Air Force, Coast Guard. There's downtimes,
Mm-hmm.
and during those downtimes, especially for those, I mean, you're deployed somewhere, or you're a sailor, you're out at sea. What are you going to do? So you break open the cards and you're playing for
Yeah.
dimes and quarters.
Right.
But that's what would they say about gateway drugs?
Yeah.
I mean, you
It's a
come
gateway,
out,
yeah.
you're addicted to that gambling process, and the next thing
Or
you
the
know,
camaraderie of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
next thing you know, you're going for high stakes.
Yeah.
I've never ever been to either one of the casinos.
You haven't.
I've been by them, never been inside one of them.
You,
I
I don't know that you would like it.
I was gonna say I know that the tribal councils would hate me for saying you're not missing much, but I think they have a lot of non-gambling things to offer.
Yeah.
But that control has to be the biggest key. You have to, I can walk into the casinos and go have a meal or be there for events. I won't touch I never crosses my mind to put money into a slot machine. And I just don't know why. It's just not who I am. I'd rather be doing something social when I'm there, and I'm typically there to see something.
Yeah.
But where my husband, whenever we're at a casino, it's never more than $10 or $20, but he always loves to let's just try. Let's just check it out.
I've been in Reno, just driving through. We stopped for the night. I was just doing at the bar. We were sitting there doing the poker games with the
Yep.
Right.
quarters.
Yep.
Back then they were quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back a few years from what I understand. And I actually I had a big bucket like this. But you know darn well that when I left there,
That bucket was gone.
I even had to cash the bucket in, the empty one. I mean, there was nothing left. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I should have just walked out when I
Had the big bucket.
had the big bucket.
Yeah.
But the addiction.
Yeah.
It definitely. So gambling and the rush you get from that win in gambling mimics in your brain the exact same reaction that drugs do. So heroin, cocaine, that chemical change is exactly the same. So what happens is, just like if you have a drug addiction, you need more and more drugs, you need a bigger and bigger win. You need to play more often to try to get that same feeling. And so it changes your brain chemistry, which is huge. And one of the things I think we don't realize is, and I'm guilty of it, how many times have you given a kid a scratch off ticket?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We taught during COVID, we taught the kids how to play poker. So we had something to do as a family. I mean, we bet like crackers and stuff, but
I'm guilty of it. I've bought my nieces and nephews since they were little at Christmas. I always buy, however many people are attending Christmas, I get $1 scratch offs. I tape a penny to the back. Everyone just pulls it out. And if you win something, great. If not, not. But that's the beginning of it. We never know who's going to react which way to the introduction of something new like that.
Yeah. Now, we've been having a nice conversation.
yeah.
There's one thing I want to ask, because we've only got like 3 minutes left. How does one recognize, a family member recognize the signs of a loved one, a family member with that has a gambling disorder?
So some of the signs are very similar to what you'll see with the other disorders. They'll tend to start becoming withdrawn. They tend to become very money focused.
Yep.
On how do we all of a sudden, how do we save money? How do we lower our bills? How do we reallocate funds? You can also see it'll be a change in temperament. All of a sudden, they may go from being someone who just casually enjoys watching football to someone who gets violently mad when a team loses or another team wins that wasn't expected. So those unexpected upsets may make them kind of swing in behaviors of being super, super happy or super, super upset.
Set them off.
So it is hard. The biggest thing is that they'll suddenly start to become very secretive and turn off one of the things we're seeing, they turn off their location tracking. So if your family uses Life 360, suddenly it's off and you don't know where they are. And one of the things is that they said more spouses are expecting to find that their significant other is having an affair when they're actually hiding their gambling addiction. Because it appears very much like an affair.
You're hiding an affair, yeah.
You know, with just a couple minutes left, we definitely have to have you back. We got to talk more about this.
So we have some events coming up.
Yeah.
We have in Bristol on March 5th. It should be the first Wednesday of the month, if I did that correctly. At 9 a.m., the Bristol Senior Center is hosting a community conversation where we're going to really dive into how to see the signs, how to understand the level of risk that you're currently experiencing. Just really to educate the public a little bit more. And if people are interested and think that this is an important conversation, not just for veterans, but it can be for anyone, college students, or maybe you have a strong LGBTQ plus community that you're like, hey, I'm seeing some of my friends exhibit some of these symptoms. Community conversations are taking place across the state. But you can reach out to Veteran Strong Community Center at 860-584-6257, or you can go on our website, which is vetstronginc.org. I should know our website off the top of my head, and I don't. And reach out to us. And if you're not in a part of the state where we can easily access you and get a community conversation together for you and help you facilitate one, we have partnerships across the entire state of Connecticut. And we have people that are more than willing to come out and have these conversations and just get the knowledge and information out there so we can make a difference.
Great. I mean, this was really eye-opening. That's really all the time we've got.
That's it.
Love to have you back and discuss this more.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come back.
You know, give us an update, and I mean, we can get into more stats and treatments.
Yes.
Stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was the conversation went great today.
Yeah.
But
You sound surprised.
well, no, not at all, not at all, not at all. I mean, we didn't get to some of the questions that we wanted to ask.
No, but she
Be-
covered
because,
a lot. Yeah.
Because we just kind of, it was a
It's
nice
an
discussion.
interesting topic.
It's definitely one we hadn't, at the center, we had heard some anecdotal stuff, but we hadn't really stopped to think about the impacts it was having on our own clients. And when we heard about this, it just was eye-opening.
But we do have to go. I want to thank Amy Wernicki from the Veteran Strong Community Center, a name that we've heard many a times, right,
Oh,
Donna?
yeah. Yep.
Veteran Strong
Yeah,
Community
yeah.
Center, downtown Bristol, City Hall. Great resource for a veteran and a veteran community. With that being said, we want to thank the viewers for watching tonight. Good night. See you next time on a Veterans Corner.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, hoy, hoy, hoy!